أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين روحي وأرواحنا لتراب مختم الفداء السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بثناك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. Brothers and sisters, right now when the Hussein is on the plains of Karbala, bodies scattered in sand. عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بالحسين. May Allah SWT make great our reward for grief for Imam Hussein. واجعلنا وإياكم من الطالبين بثأره مع وليه الإمام المنتظر المهدي من آل محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. And allow us to be among the ones who avenge this blood with our Imam. As you know, our Imam is known as the one who will revenge and take vengeance for what happened in Karbala. We call out to our Imam, أين الطالب بدم المقتول بكربلاء? Where is the one who will take vengeance for the blood spilt in Karbala? Dear brothers and sisters, before we start talking and mentioning the maqtal and what happened in the Masa'ib, try to put yourselves in Karbala. For those of you who have visited, who had the tawfiq of visiting Karbala, remember yourself before the grave of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. Even if you haven't, put yourself with your feet seared by the hot sands of Karbala. Feel the burden of a person weary from having to carry the corpse and bodies of his dead companion, of his son, of his brother, of his nephews, of a young infant. Let that sorrow fill throughout your heart. On the day of Ashura, when Imam Hussein stands alone, when all the Shuhada have gone, when all of his Ahlul Bayt, all of his family, all of his sons, his brothers have gone, he looks to the right, he looks to the left. أين حبيب أين صاحب. He calls out, هل من ضابط يضم عن عرب رسول الله? Is there any defender here to defend the Arab of the Rasul? هل من موحد يخاف الله فينا? Is there any person who fears Allah among us? هل من مغيث يرجو الله بإغاثتنا? Is there any helper who seeks and has hope in Allah through helping us? In one narration, The only response that he receives is the wails and the cries of the women in the tents. Until he sees from one of the tents, one man is coming out, but he can't even stand upright. His son, Imam Zainabiya, is coming. He has to hold himself up with his cane and his sword. He's dragging himself to his father. He can't stand upright, but he can't bear hearing this call go unanswered. Imam says, no, there must be someone that remains from Ali Muhammad. Progeny of Muhammad must not be cut off completely. You have to stay back. Imam Hussein goes to his sister Zainab. This is the final farewell. This is the final wida. He asked his sister, give me an old shirt. Let's give me this old shirt. He gets the shirt and he tears it into pieces. He puts this under his armor. Why? Because Abdullah Hussein is afraid that when he's martyred, these Mal'ooneen won't even have mercy on his shirt. It will leave it bare on the sands of Karbala. When Wahsid says to his family, he tells them to be patient, for there's more trials and tribulations to come before you. But as he's leaving, according to one narration, he's on Zuljanah, but Zuljanah's not moving forward. He addresses Zuljanah, you two betrayed me, and you're not going to go. When he looks down and he sees that there's a young girl, Zainab. He's weeping, asking, Mama, are you two going to the battlefield? Everyone else who's gone to the battlefield hasn't returned. Yeah, the poetry that he says, one of the lines, don't burn my heart with your tears. Burn my heart with your tears, my daughter. He gives her what comfort he can and gives her to Zainab. He starts going again on Zuljanah, but this time he hears a call from behind him. Mahlan, Mahlan, Yabna Zahra. Slowly, slowly, son of Zahra. Don't go so quickly. Don't let this be the very final farewell of Zainab. Let Zainab see her brother one more time. Mahlan, Mahlan, Yabna Zahra. One narration says that Zainab goes to Hussein, says, I have a final trust from our mother. She comes and kisses the neck of Abi Abdullah Hussein. She kisses his chest. She kisses him. And this is the final trust of our mother that she told me, give to you on this day. Imam Hussein finally goes onto the battlefield. He gives the enemies a final chance to turn away from their path, but they don't accept. He fights on the battlefield. Then he's confused. They see it as if Aidan Karran has come onto the battlefield. One of the Mal'ooneen is recorded as saying that he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand. How could one man bear this much of trial? How could he have seen the death of all of his companions? How could he have seen the death of his family and still fight like he has? How can someone do this? Hussein, and one time he goes towards the river Furat, he fights towards it, he's trying to make his way to the river. But from one side, he's struck by a stone that hits his forehead. Bismillah, Billah, wa ala millati Rasulillah. Blood is filling the helmet of Abu Abdullah Hussein. He's surrounded by the enemies, and he sees that a group of these Mal'uneen are heading towards the tents. He says to them, if you don't have any deen, if you don't have any religion, at least be free in your dunya. Have some respect as long as I live, fight me. Don't go to the women. What have the women done to you? I don't know what allows him to have some mercy at this time, but he accepts. He turns back from the tents. But then they surround Abu Abdullah from all sides. Oh. Some cut him with their swords. Some hit him with their spears. Until he's struck by a three-pronged arrow in his chest. The hands filled with the blood of his chest. And he wipes it on his face. He colors his beard with his blood. He says, I want to meet my Lord in this state so I can complain. I can complain about what this qawm has done to our Rasul. Imam Hussein is kicked from his horse, but at this time his body is filled with arrows. There that even though he fell from his horse, his body didn't touch the ground. One Maroon takes out his sword to strike Abu Abdullah. But Abdullah Hussein sees through his eyes that there's movement from the tents. There's a young boy who's coming, who's running. Abdullah, his nephew, is running into the battlefield. This young boy of 11 is coming. Imam Hussein cries out to his sister Zainab, Zainab, stop him. Don't let him come. But he runs and rushes to the battlefield. أتقتل عمي يا ابن الخبيثة. Are you going to kill my uncle? This young boy doesn't have any army. He has no shield. He has no sword. He's the nephew of Al-Fadl Abbas. He has his arms. He stretches out his arms in front of the sword. Sword strikes down. He cries out, Ya Allah! How difficult it is for him. See his nephew killed before his eyes. He can't do a thing. The horse of Abi Abdullah Hussein, in one narration, has gone back to the tent, but he comes back riderless. I wonder at this moment, when the women see Zuljanah come back to the tent, did they have a moment of hope, thinking that Abu Abdullah is returning to them? What must they have felt when they saw that the saddle is empty, that the horse is covered in blood? Zainab! Zainab! Zainab rushes to tell Zainabiya. She looks down to see that Abdullah Hussein is in the battlefield on the ground. وشمر جالس على صدري. They say that these Mal'uneen were so afraid of killing Imam Hussein. One would go up to him, they would look at his face, hear him reciting verses of the Quran, and they would run away. Then the next would come and the same would happen. According to some accounts, he stayed on the battlefield and then stayed bleeding from his wounds for hours until Shem, this Mal'oon, comes and sits on the chest of Abi Abdullah Hussein. Abi Abdullah Hussein can't see well. The blood from his wounds is covering his eyes. He says, "Who is it that sits here?" He introduces himself as Shem. Abi Abdullah says, "No, Shem. No, you're sitting on a lofty place. You're sitting on a place where the Rasulullah used to kiss." Abi Abdullah says something that makes Shem angry. And so he flips Abi Abdullah Hussein onto his chest. He takes out a dull dagger and starts to strike at the neck of Abi Abdullah from behind. Hussein, what the Hussein is going to be killed while you're looking. Onisad has no response but to turn his face away in shame. But he tells him to keep going. He strikes with the dagger. And I can't imagine what's going in the heart of Zainab at that time. Eventually, Anne is raised onto a spear. Zainab cries, "Wa Muhammadan, wa Hamzatan, wa Ja'far, wa Aliya, هذا الحسين بالعراء." This is Hussein laid bare on the sand. وَرَبِّلْهُمْ بِالدَّمَامِ, covered in his blood. مُقَطِّعُ الْأَعْضَاءِ, his limbs have been severed. وَبِنَاتُهُ سَبَايَا, and his women and his daughters will be taken into captivity. How I wish that the story ends there. How I wish this is the last thing that Zainab saw. According to some Maqtal, this Mal'oon Umar ibn Saad asked for 10 riders, 10 horsemen to come and who's ready to ride upon the bodies of the martyrs. Who's ready to topple the Zainabiya. Before he does that, they come to loot the body of Abi Abdullah. One takes his armor, one takes his clothing, one Mal'oon wants to take his ring, but it doesn't come off the finger, so he takes out his dagger. And then the horses will come. And they come over the chest of Abi Abdullah. فلا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون.